Okay. What band got their name from the 60s movie Barbarella?
Duran Duran.
Yep.
Good one.
My mom grew up in the 80s.
I feel bad about not getting
in the 2000s.
I go outside.
I grew up in my dad's I grew up in my mom's.
Maybe this is the wrong crap. I'm sorry. Who's offended? Now I'm offended. All right.
2018.
All right, here's a good one. Name the original comic strip Bill the Cat appeared on.
What?
Bloom County.
What's that?
Bloom County.
Brings you the nerd.
Fucking nerd.
Pictures, autographs? Cool, thank you, the Red Bank. Send Kevin Smith and company my regards.
Who's that?
Any questions? Anything you got, go for it. Hey, what's up?
Do you have any advice for beginning content creators?
Oh, actually, we're just talking a whole thing. If you do enough different things, something will catch eventually. Just keep trying different things, you know, cast a big net out there. The most important,
Check it off.
It's most important to enjoy what it is you do. Pick something you really like to do, and then, you know, the rest.
Ignore the man under the table.
I can't even see it. What was your inspiration to start?
The nerd or movies or
The nerd.
The nerd was, I guess it just started the games, really, that was it. It was just, like I'd make videos about different things, but that was sort of like, I just needed something to do at that time. I had just graduated and I was just like looking for like a small pet project because I just finished my senior film and I was exhausted and I was like, all right, let me do something for fun. We think of, and my friends and I, we play a lot of those games in college and could sort of like, you know, relive our childhoods and joke about all those games. Like, oh, this wasn't as good as I remembered. So a lot of that humor was developed in college. We would just play the games and we'd curse at them and just, you know, and yes, that was what that was. It was kind of like taking an in-joke, but then it made it into something that was a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Hey, when will we be seeing more board games?
More board games is unlikely because the last season was so crazy. It's one of my favorite things I ever did. And if I did more, I'd have to make it even crazier. I'd have to top it. I did have an idea of doing a Board Game Zero, like a prequel of like a character. But the time it'll take to do that, I'd rather work on a horror film. This is just straight up feature-length horror film, totally separate from anything else. But it'll have traces of all the things that you know from my videos. There's always a character probably trying to go back to his past. You've seen things like Legend of the Blue Hole or Cinemaphobia, you know, Board James, the AVGN Polybius episode. I think all the horror stuff.
I remember that.
Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears.
Bloodstein.
Bloodstein Bears.
Kill them all!
So all that stuff has traces of what will become an eventual film. I have no idea how long. It could take years, but every year it's like another year down the drain. Well, not down the drain, but and I'm like, maybe this year I'll get to it. No, maybe next year, and no. So this year I'm really trying again to like set aside some personal time to start working on those long-term projects, and hopefully sometime soon you'll get to see one of them.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's the story behind you changing from the angry Nintendo nerd to the angry video game nerd?
Well, that's a
From
good
angry
one.
Nintendo nerd to angry video game nerd. Earlier on, I gave no thought to the names of the guy angry Nintendo nerd. And then eventually I started doing games that weren't Nintendo, and it started getting bigger. And then also we were selling merchandise and stuff, and we're like, well, let's not sell merchandise with the name Nintendo on it, you know? It just made a lot more sense to call it Angry Video Game Nerd. But there was a time, actually, early on, I thought about dividing it into separate characters. So I was going to have the Angry Nintendo Nerd, he wears the white shirt. The Angry Sega Nerd, he wears the black shirt. And then there's like Angry PlayStation Nerd and Angry, you know. So there was like different characters. And we actually sort of joked about that in the Power Rangers episode. In the very beginning, when I have all the separate nerds.
Tiger nerd!
Tiger electronic wristwatch game nerd. Pretty nice.
60.
That's my favorite
64
OC.
bits.
64 bits.
2 bits.
Oh no.
16 bits. 8 bits. 4 bits. 2 bits. 1
Speaking of the Power Ranger stuff, you said that you never really grew up watching it, but it took a lot of time to adapt to the Super Sentai stuff. How much of the footage did you actually watch until you came up with that, not the nerd episode, but the previous episode where you culminated all that
The
stuff?
movie review that I did, the Power Rangers.
Okay.
Like how much of it did I watch?
Yeah, the actual seasons and how long did it take?
Oh, it was probably like a good month at least of just watching it like nonstop. So I got through 3 seasons of the Mighty Morphin series, and I think after that was like it goes into like In Space and Turbo and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna at least just try to like watch all the Mighty Morphin stuff, and plus the movies. That was as far as I got with it, but it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. It's something that I couldn't believe that I didn't watch when it came out, because I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, it's some kid's show, it's probably stupid. And meanwhile, it's like exactly the type of stuff I like.
Yeah.
So, if someone would have told me, yo, James, it has giant rubber suit monsters, it's like Godzilla, you fucking asshole.
Thanks, man.
Are you aware of Red Letter Media on YouTube?
I've heard that. Red Letter Media, I heard that, and I really like them.
Endless trash! We always talk about who they want to get started. Your name always comes up.
Oh, cool.
Wonder if you would like guest. I know you're doing it just to be funny.
Oh, I'd love to, yeah. But if I have time, yeah. It's definitely, whoever runs it, feel free to, contact me. Yeah. I could be a little reclusive, but you can reach out to me if you want. Hey.
How did this stuff come up with Pat the NES Punk with the Nintendo Marathon?
When I started the charity days
Yeah.
with Pat, yeah. He was doing those NES marathons for like, I think 6 or 7 years now or something. How did it come up? I don't really remember now. I think it was just, I met him at some conventions. I met him at SGC in Texas. And then we just started talking after that, and we started collaborating on videos like the Nintendo World Championship video. And every year I sort of made a tradition where I'll drop in and do like a quick nerd review for the event, but it's live streams only. And then later on it'll come out. The last one I just did was Snoopy. Did anybody see that? Snoopy on NES. Right here. Hi.
Yeah. Are you gonna do Castlevania again?
Oh, like the first one, like anything with the Castlevania series?
Yeah.
Like a part 5 or whatever? Anything, always could, yeah. I was thinking what I pretty much, I got to Symphony of the Night, I did the 64 games, I'm trying to think where I'd go. Maybe like the portable consoles or something? Yeah. Okay, you can go first.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm going first. Okay, after you. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to be seeing any, in future episodes, any guest characters, like how you did with Bugs Bunny, Jason, and Freddy Krueger?
Oh, probably.
We need more books.
I don't have plans yet for any guest characters. But
I'm not asking for anything, but,
yeah.
you know.
I think he's asking for everything. Give us Sonic.
I had a question in regards to how it feels to be one of the first angry or regular game reviewers on YouTube, and would you collab with, say, newer ones like the Grumps or anything like that to show, I guess, the newer generation what the older generation of game reviewers can do in that sense?
Well, it's crazy, yeah. I hear that a lot. They say I'm one of the first angry video game reviewers. I mean, yeah, when I did that originally, I thought it was like a ridiculous idea. Like, this is so out of left field. Like, who's going to remember these games? Like, nobody talks about this, but now everybody is. It's crazy. So yeah, I'd love to collaborate more. I guess it makes sense that I do retro games mostly. So I like the fact that I myself am becoming retro too. So I really, I like that.
His resolution is slowly degrading to 8-bit.
Yeah.
Which out of all the characters in the nerd episodes, holds the most sentimental value to you?
Which video holds the most sentimental?
I meant like which
Like
character?
the nerd characters, like Shit Pickles, who got the Death Christ.
Oh. Shit pickling. I the only one is the nerd because it's at least the closest to me.
Whenever I start a friend who's watching your stuff for the very first time, I always start them off with the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street episode. What episode would you start somebody with AVGN on?
Just start them on AVGN.
Glitch Gremlins.
I mean, I guess
Back to the Future is a good one.
Basic one, maybe. Like, Castlevania. Yeah. I think. You know, the Jekyll and Hyde revisited one, I think, is I mean, even though it's sort of a throwback to an older episode, it's a more complete review of the game, and it's sort of like, I think it hits upon all the really awful things that happen in the game, and it's sort of like a good, you know, all-in-one inclusive of like everything that could go wrong with the game. Oh, but then you have like big rigs or something where
Big rigs.
You have, I know you enjoy the horror element in things. As far as like the Mr. Bucket episode, what were what kind of inspiration as far as horror movies kind of went into that, or can you just talk about that episode a little bit?
Mr. Bucket?
Yeah.
Well, I think I've always been fascinated by things that are not scary, but you make them scary somehow. I think it goes back to the Dragon. Dreamstone was very good example of that. Mr. Bucket sort of starred that, though. I did before. That when I was a kid, the Dragon in my dreams, there was just a playground I remember going to as a kid, and there's a video of that, Dragon in my dreams. And there's just a fountain, but it was shaped like a dragon. They kind of, painted it and everything. And for some reason that dragon crept into my earliest nightmares as a kid. And it just became like this horrifying thing that I had nightmares about. But I go to the playground, I play with the dragon. There's a picture of me sitting next to it as a kid. I'm clearly not afraid of it. So where'd the nightmares come in? So I don't know. So I think it's always been a fascination of mine. Take something not scary and make it scary. So hopefully you'll see me doing more stuff like that.
Okay, good.
About time.
Kept you waiting.
We're
a lot of bad games, certainly. And I know ScrewAttack.com made not one, but 2 video games of you, side-scrollers. Would you ever maybe consider going into game design, where you could put maybe even the nerd character into the game, and where you play as it, and crack jokes and about maybe if something's wrong, make fun of it, and how far games design has come over the years, something like that.
Do you mean like something I designed myself?
Yes, maybe look for a company that maybe look for a big new company that would want to hire you, because I know gamers would like that, and they would want to make
I'm definitely not much of a guy with designing games. I'd rather just sit back and be an asshole and come.
Preach it.
Like what's the word? Just like creative support for running games, because we are planning to do a 3rd game actually with Streetway. And we'll see. When that right now there's no. The date is just to be announced. It's like we don't know when yet or anything, but we are working on one, and we're planning on it being different. It's not just like a part 3. It's going to be like a whole new game, and also to make the first 2 games available in like one package. So we have some cool stuff planned with that coming up.
I'll look for it.
Yeah. Look at it, PAX.
Besides a bottle of Rolling Rock, what else can you store in an Atari 5200?
I think that's the best thing. If I thought of something better, right, it would be in the episode. So. You need some ice in there just to keep it cool. That's all. It's 1 beer.
Which one?
Oh, the nerd shirt and the hat. Yeah.
One of my favorite nerd episodes is Sword Quest. Would you, Cinemasker ever consider doing either a feature-length film or a short film about the search for the actual prizes that they were giving out?
Absolutely.
Surprise, nobody's had any lead yet. The only thing I heard was that it's a dead end because they melted them down, that they don't exist anymore. That's what I heard, that they just went back to the limit. So that's like the quickest answer. But I don't know, there's always that optimism that maybe they are still out there. But I'm kind of at this point, it's like I made the episode, I'm hoping that it'll just get more attention. And then whatever happens beyond that, Jack Trammell passed away like a few years after that. And there's just no more leads. So I think now it's up to somebody else to do something. I've heard a few people are working on documentaries about it, but I mean, they're not documentaries, but they take a long time. So I'm not really sure what the status is on any of them. So I don't know. I think it's somebody else's turn now with Sword Quest. Like if somebody wants to really seriously look into them.
What is your preferred brand of beer?
Preferred brand of beer. I like Weihenstephaner. They're my favorite brewery. Yeah, I'm big on German beers, Pilsners. I don't like hoppy beers usually. I don't like IPAs or anything like that. So as long as it's something tasty. I mean, I just don't drink beer that much, to be honest. Weihenstephaner, is delicious. And actually everything they make is delicious. I like Guinness a lot. If I'm out at a bar, I'll drink Guinness. I like the nitro brews. I like the texture of them. It's just, yeah. All right. So
stick to the local brew.
Yes.
That was a really good episode.
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to ask, that was such a unique episode. Have you or are you considering doing more episodes away from that where you're usually in, going to like other arcades or just different locations?
Yeah, nerd videos in different locations. Yeah, it doesn't happen too often, but I am always thinking of that, like, if this video doesn't need to be anywhere else. If it doesn't need to be, there's no point, but if it's like, it fits the theme, fits the story, then I will. And yeah, that was one of my favorite ones. I was like really, I was like really personally invested in the Oblivious episode, because when I first started working on it, it was like, I don't know if it's gonna work yet. I gotta figure out, like, all right, how does he get trapped in there? How does this all play out? And it was actually, the idea was that, okay, well, if we film a shittier looking episode, like really basic, like I'm just filming myself, it would be easier, right? But it wasn't, it was actually harder. It's harder to make it look shitty than it is, because there's lots of shots where it was really dark and we had to bring in lights, but we didn't want it to look like we brought in lights. We wanted it to look natural, like as realistic as it could be, you know? So sometimes we like hide little lights next to the arcades, because otherwise I was just like in shadow and you just couldn't see me. And then the sound, it was like, well, I don't want to be like mic'd really well. I don't want you to hear my voice crystal clear. I want it to sound like it's just from an on-camera mic. But then that was too shitty. Like, you know,
get a better camera.
I had to boost the volume, and you know, you boost the gain, but then you're boosting everything. You have like all the background noise, all the hiss. So then you're going through it, and you're removing the hiss. Like, you know, there's filters and stuff where you can do that. So I'm removing all the background noise just to get it to sound like okay. And meanwhile, there's also like a gun range next door, like a target practice. And so while I'm speaking, it's like there's these gunshots going off in the next room. And they didn't sound like that loud when you're there, but when you watch the footage, it was like, okay, you hear that, and it's like, it kind of disrupts the illusion that the nerd is alone. There isn't supposed to be anybody else nearby, so it's like, all right, well, any sound of any other life needs to be just muted. So basically, I would do more than one take of everything. And if a gunshot happened on one of my words, I'd have to go into a separate take and take out that one word, that syllable, and like borrow it from that take to use in the other. So I'm patching up all these sounds, and the audio on that thing took forever. And then it was like, okay, what game sound effects do I use for Oblivious? So I'm going into like, I'm using PC and arcade games. I got like obscure games like Catacombs of Neemon and Round 42, but I'm reversing them also. So it's like you wouldn't recognize what they were from, but they still sounded like something that would, you know, exist in 80s game, the early 80s. So then it's just like going underneath the soundtrack and just adding all these little like sound effects here, but making them different each time so you don't notice a loop. I don't want to be like, oh wait, we heard that already, and then it like starts over. So every sound, like it was on a unique pattern the whole time. And so that took forever, and also it was so dark, even with all the lights we had, so I had to like, you know, color correct every shot. And like all this to do something that's not even supposed to look like it has high production. So it's like all work you don't notice, but that was the only way to get it right, because it had to be authentic. If I'm going to do found footage, I don't want to fuck it up. So yeah, thank you. Yeah. So who did I get? Oh, right here. Me and Mike, usually, like Mike will post all the Monday videos. A lot of times it's one of my videos, I'll post it. Yeah.
I have here a picture of Berenstein Bears. If you look closely, on the top is Berenstein. On the top, literally on the same day.
Chuck is bum.
Berenstein and Berenstein on the same day.
Yeah. Here you go.
And also,
Fake.
conflicts and demonetization affect you.
A lot of videos are demonetized.
It's one stage.
No, I mean, a lot of them, yeah, I don't have a lot actually, but mostly it just changes what the ads are. Like, oh, this ad, this video is with children, so let's not have ads that are with children on it, or kind of like things like that. Like it just changes the age range, the ads. Sometimes it gets demonetized, especially if they're making a Nintendo, and Nintendo's always tough. And then Benjamin Bear is actually the VHS tape too that has, if you spell on the label, I believe, and then it has the A spelling on the box. So there were a lot of typos back then in the day. The question is, did any of those typos create the conspiracy? Or, you know, I don't think they did, because I think those typos were too rare to happen. That it doesn't make sense that so many people would remember it spelled with an E. So I think it was just kind of natural that because Stein is a more common name, you know. So Berenstain with an A was kind of like most people. It just wasn't common, so I think it just kind of got in your brain the wrong spelling, but I don't know. Alternate dimension, that's what it is.
Net neutrality.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. The sweater. You ran up for a while. Me? Right here.
Me?
Yeah.
You're talking to me, right?
Go for it.
You made the hat, right?
What's up?
Oh, me?
Yeah, sure.
It is now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Go for it, bro. Oh, yeah, it's an honor to meet you, nerd.
Oh, thank you.
What am I, nerd? Okay, so, I'm just like, I'm kind of like,
oh yeah,
take your time. Speechless. I'm speechless.
Oh, yeah,
I just got a little request here to ask you or something. Like, I got plenty of requests here to like for you to review or something. Like I don't know. Like there's like two. Are you how do I say this? Are you aware of like this cartoon show Ed and Eddie?
Ed and Eddie?
Yes.
I've heard of it. I don't know what it's about.
Just a couple of scammers like want to scam for jawbreakers.
Okay.
Well, I heard they got 2 video games involved there, Crazy Adventures or whatever. Do you think? And there's like plenty of memes like based on a video game, based on their cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking like you could like do a review of it like between the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance.
Maybe. Yeah. Thanks for the suggestion.
You're welcome. By the way, I got some stuff here for you to autograph sometime.
It's a little late.
I'm done for the day, but next time, yeah. Hey, Brad. Hey.
How do you balance your nerd life with your home life? Is it like a regular job, like a 8 to 9 you do your 9 to 5 you do your nerd, and the rest of the day or weekends you stay at home with family?
Yeah, it definitely is mostly nights and weekends. I do try to just reserve for my family. It's a lot of work with 2 kids, and my wife has her hands full with them, and it's a lot of work, very stressful. So it is hard to balance that. Anybody who, you know, anybody with any job and kids, it's hard. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I got you. Yes, there you go.
Okay, so hold on, let me actually start recording this since this is for a friend here. So this is more of like a request to say hi to a friend who couldn't make it. Could you just make out a quick message to a friend? Just refer to him as Fat Russian Idiot, please.
Wow. Your friend wants me to refer to you as Fat Russian Idiot.
Trust me, when I show it to him, he'll know exactly who it is.
Okay, well, hi.
Thank you so much. He will greatly appreciate the insult.
Say, hey, I'm going to review this through the script process, through the production process, post-production. How many hours, man-hours, do you put into an actual like baseline in the basement episode?
Oh, a basic episode. Depends on the game. If it's a really simple game, sometimes at the very quickest episode, like I'm talking like a video less than 10 minutes long with one game. And no effects, nothing like that. Mostly just game footage and commentating on whatever. Could be like 20 hours. That's like the shortest. But an average one is more like 40. That's like, you know. And then something like Polybius with all that audio work and everything, 75. Whoa. And then the really crazy ones is sometimes when it gets like Rob the Robot and Mega Man. Mega Man actually topped Rob the Robot at like 135 hours or something.
Nice.
All those green screen shots, all those games to review. There's like so many effects. That one was crazy. So yeah, it definitely varies for sure.
A game like Hong Kong 97. I saw one of your videos. Now, which video do you think was the hardest to get your hands on? Like, which game? Oh yeah.
Hardest one to get my hands on. Yeah, I don't know, like when Hong Kong 97 was a ROM, but I actually found the game after the episode. I still don't even know if it's real. It plays, it's a cartridge, it has a label, but it's like, I know the game was on a disc also, but maybe they've got a cartridge version also. It's Super Famicom, so I don't know.
Cheetah Man 2?
What?
Was you Cheetah Man 2?
Oh, Cheetah Man 2 is extremely rare. I am fortunate to have one of them. They only made like 1,500 of those. So yeah, that's a rare one. Oh, Culture 6 and 1 I have, that's pretty rare.
How about Desert Bus?
Bus? Yeah, that's pretty rare. I have that.
How about Close Solar Ties?
There's nowhere Tyler, I don't think it's that rare.
Action 52!
Action 52, that's pretty obscure.
Nintendo World Champions.
Well, there you go, Nintendo World Champions, but that was Pat. Pat got those, so I didn't have to personally seek them out. He did, so.
Mario Duck Hunt's the rarest game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so rare.
Combat.
What's it like to work with Doug Walker?
Doug Walker's great, yeah. He's a lot of fun, always.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it seems like we've been kind of on a schedule almost, like we're once a year we tend to collaborate on something. So I'm happy to keep that going, and, keep working with him every now and then. And everybody at Channel Awesome, everybody who I've ever worked with, all been really great. Hey, Claire.
Me? Yeah, I got another question.
Okay.
About that, like, speak down with Bugs Bunny. Like, what are your thoughts of, like, you review one of the Mickey Mouse games?
One of the Mickey Mouse games, maybe. Yeah. I don't have any plans for it right now.
Okay, like, just imagine if, like, Mickey Mouse, like, showed up in, one of your reviews.
Maybe. Red jacket.
And I know like your Crazy Castles episode when you reviewed like all of those like games, would you ever consider like returning like the Bugs Bunny like Woody Woodpecker like monstrosity back into an episode?
That was terrifying.
More of those?
Yeah.
Wow. That was very tough actually to pull off too, so I don't think I'd be able to top that one. In terms of fight choreography, that was probably the most involved.
Your jam.
Do you have any thought about here, like in the future, possibly introducing your to the nerd line? Know what choices?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I don't know. Like right now, they can just like hold off as long as possible until they can make that decision themselves. Like once you're famous on the internet, then you can't be unfamous anymore. It's like that's it. So it's like kind of like I want that to be their choice more. So yeah, but they'd be good. I mean, my oldest daughter is playing games now, and she sometimes makes funny comments about it. I'm like, yeah, I can see you boy this one day. 4, he's gonna be 5 this year.
After you used Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero as your Christmas special, did you ever consider taking a look at the Mortal Kombat series in general? Or special forces for that matter.
I'm not sure.
It's not that bad.
I've heard that's supposed to be like the worst, so that's special. You know me, I'm always looking for the worst.
Special forces.
I'm sure you get this request many times, so I apologize. Duke Nukem Forever. Any thoughts?
I haven't played it yet. Duke Nukem Forever.
That would be a good one.
Okay.
Down in hell, one of the worst ever. I'm a single man, I actually own the game.
Oh, wow.
It's not bad.
Red Jacket?
He was raising his hand. I made a bet with him that you'd answer my question before him.
Look, both of our questions are random.
Well, my question is, you saw that James Franco just won a Golden Globe for his portrayal of Tommy Wiseau.
Yes.
If you had an Angry the Video Game Nerd like movie based on your life, who do you want to play you?
Who would play me? I don't know.
Play yourself.
Just play yourself.
Dolph Lundgren.
Roger Craig Smith. Nicolas Cage.
Okay. Like what age would it be? So I feel like it might need to be a younger actor to play me, like a younger me.
Alright, now you Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau. This is real movie.
Are you starting to get burned out on the 80s popularity, or is it still kind of fun for you?
Oh, I started to get burned out on the 80s popularity. I mean, I'll always love it. You know, 80s is my decade. But the thing is, it's like, for me, I feel like I've already lived all my nostalgia again. It's kind of like, all right, well, I've been through the 80s personally, so I feel like now it's like the 90s. Like I'm more nostalgic for the 90s right now because I guess I did kind of burn out most of my 80s nostalgia. So I'm on to the 90s now, and I don't know if that means that in like another 10 years I'll be nostalgic for the 2000s. But I don't know.
Remember Bobby's World? It was a good show.
After you were done making them, you weren't satisfied with, or was there anything else that you thought you could do differently when making one of the episodes?
Oh yeah, like generally the ones I spend the less time on are not that good. I remember like earlier on, I remember the Big Kids episode was kind of and then I know Daydreaming Davey was like, I had a couple of good watching it, but there's some that I don't. But people have different opinions with them, so it doesn't really matter. It's more about like what you think. Because like the High Vibe one, I didn't think was that great, but a lot of people love the High Vibe episode. Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah.
All right. Really love your Mummy collaboration with Doug, by the way.
Oh, we get the Mummy collaboration with Doug, yeah.
Now here's a curveball question for you then. I ask, well, usually I ask voice actors these questions, but what is the one question that you've always wanted a fan to ask you?
Is that a question?
That one. That question.
Yes.
I want someone to ask me.
What
is it that I want to answer, I guess?
I think I have that question for you.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything.
He was too lazy to come up with a question. Don't mind him.
You can't answer it, that's fine.
Where did you learn to fly?
No.
Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly? Where did you learn to fly?
Broke him. Where did you
AVA.
Where did you learn to fly?
What is your favorite Godzilla film?
Favorite Godzilla film? It's tough because you always got to give it to the original, but then also it's like you got to pick one other one. I think probably Godzilla versus King Ghidorah because it's got all the time travel stuff in it. So I like that. Who did I get?
Okay, so, okay, so are there gonna be future, you know what's bullshit episodes coming soon?
We do want vending machines. Oh yes.
Vending machines?
They're bullshit.
They are bullshit.
They steal your money.
Yeah, I want to point out the bullshit for sure. I don't know how often, but last year I was trying to, but I was coming out with a movie review every Friday, so I was like, I was keeping up with all these movie reviews I wanted to do, and I didn't get time to do any bullshit episodes. So this year, it's more on the priority list again, where it's like, okay, I'll cut back on the movie reviews just to get some bullshit again. There's always going to be like an imbalance. There's always going to be like more of one thing and less of something else. So I always got to just keep like changing it up to like try to keep giving everything its turn. It's kind of hard. Like in an ideal world, I wish that I could have everything going on at the same time. It would be like one of each series. Like every other week, you'll get, you know, a complete predictable schedule, but it's just never going to happen. It's going to be like 2015 was the year of Board James. 2016 was the year of the nerd. 2017 was the year of the movie reviews, and you know, it's like every year is something else.
What's 2018?
2018, hopefully more personal projects, like beginning some long-term stuff, like writing a book and the feature-length horror film.
I actually felt that you were very productive last month.
Oh yeah.
You did 4 premieres, I think?
Yeah.
That's beyond your two times a month. And then you went to Brown and once a month, and then you did the movie, and then you did the
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
Oh, was I thinking? Well, at first, the original idea was to do another 12 days of shitsness. It turned out to be impossible, because that was one of the most time-consuming projects. If you count all 12 of them combined, it was so much work. I mean, it was really like making 12 episodes. So we ended up getting like, I think like 6 to 8, something like that. And I had a lot of help with the editing on those, which helped out a lot. Polybius was the one I was the most invested in, like from start to finish, but a lot of the other ones were shot in the summer, actually, and we shot some in the summer and some in the fall, but we basically had like a bunch that were in production at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, basically just to give you a big holiday dose of AVGN.
Do you feel any responsibility for bringing like retro gaming to like mass media, like to someone that may has not lived through that, you know, early 90s, late 80s?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been told that though. Yeah, I've been told that I sell a lot of shitty games. I keep hearing like the prices on eBay go up for like
Jekyll and Hyde costs $20 or something like that now.
Are you serious?
Well, I got
50. I looked online 50.
You've done.
75.
All right.
Going once,
Considering you're
going twice.
Considering you're for LJN,
Still.
What's your favorite game by that if you have one?
I also really like the Royal Rumble. They made a game. Wow. I'm just
Rumble. Wow.
What did you say was the balance between games that you personally had like nostalgia, you was bad nostalgia for the earlier episodes versus games that you kind of just heard, okay, this game's awful, I need to review this? And have there been any games recently that you think you've been very need to take back at?
This is games to take crack at.
Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom Rise of Golden. iPad game or iOS game called Micro Sprints. If you want to try that out, be my guest. Mike and I just played it recently, recorded it, and I don't know if it's going to be a nerd episode at all, but it's definitely a possible candidate for nerd episode. It's so bizarre. Oh, okay. I'll take one more, yeah. See what time's up, but I'll take one more. Who hasn't asked a question? Anybody who hasn't asked one? Chewbacca, all right.
Given the way how games are going, have you ever considered doing an episode where it focuses on having to pay more to play?
Yeah.
Like microtransactions with DLC?
How does that work?
Battlefront 2.
You know what's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Pay more money, you win.
It's very difficult to play it.
Pay to play.
Enhances your game.
It's like gambling, but not.
One pay, but. I think I know what you mean now.
It's like gambling, but worse.
I see a game called Crossy Road, and you can keep buying more characters in it.
Oh, that's just Frogger, though.
Really? Okay. Yeah, so it's, I don't know.
Yeah, bullshit was in a microtransaction.
Yeah, although they did make the bother magazine and stuff like that to figure the games out. So there's always something. Yeah, what can you do? All right, well, thanks everybody.
Nerd, you must dab on the haters.
No! Dab on the haters, no!
Do it!